Okay, we're gonna make a turkey gravy. I have 4 tablespoons of turkey fat. This is from when I made my Make Ahead stock. If you don't have any turkey fat, you can just use butter. Just use 4 tablespoons of butter. Just gonna heat that up. And I'm gonna add in 4 tablespoons of flour. This is to make our roux. And I like doing this in a large stainless steel skillet. You could do this in a roasting pan if you have a nice roasting pan that can go on the stovetop. My mom always did it in a roasting pan, but I just like having the wider surface area to make sure that I whisk out all the flour, get any raw flour taste cooked out. But ultimately, this is a very blonde roux. I'm not trying to get a bunch of color on this, because the longer you cook it, the less thickening power it has, and I really want all of the thickening power possible. So I've got a half cup of white wine. Just gonna pour that in, and you're gonna notice that this thickens up very quickly. Don't freak out, it's just all of that thickening power is right there. Just cook this for a minute. So all of this is gonna just become this very thick paste, and then we're gonna start to slowly whisk in our stock. This is 2 cups of turkey stock in total. I'm gonna add 4 cups. I just didn't have the bigger measuring cup to be able to do that. Just adding it a little bit at a time. If you have a little saucepan like off on the back of your stove with your stock warm, you can add it straight from that if you want. So you can see this is still super, super thick. Just keep adding in our liquid and keep whisking. It looks like it's gonna get, you know, clumpy on you, but don't worry, we've already incorporated all of that flour, so it's just about mixing the already thickened kind of paste with the rest of the stock. This is why we take time to make a very flavorful turkey stock ahead of time. This is my Make Ahead stock, and then any reserved drippings I had from roasting the turkey breast, but you could do this totally ahead of time just with Make Ahead stock, and then have gravy that's ready to go. All you have to do is warm it up on Thanksgiving Day. You can freeze it, or you can just keep it in the fridge if you're just doing this a couple days ahead. All right, that's my first 2 cups of stock added. I'm gonna get another 2 cups in here, and this is gonna bubble. Before I start adding the rest of the stock, I wanna make sure that this has all kind of started to come up to temperature, so I'm not cooling it down too much and everything is still, you know, thickening up nicely. I made this last night and the stock was cold from the fridge, so still gelatinous, and I just added it all right away to the roux. Eventually it came together, but it took forever to reduce, and at first looked really gloopy and weird because obviously the stock had all the gelatin in it. So I wanted to make sure that my proportions rather still worked for 4 cups of liquid, and that maybe I just made a mistake by adding the cold stock all at once, because I don't want this to take, you know, an hour to reduce on the stovetop. That's not the point, especially if you end up having to do this actually on Thanksgiving Day. I'm just using my roux whisk to scrape down the sides, making sure this is still kind of at a simmer and I can see all of those bubbles. Continuing to add in the stock. And if you're using store-bought stock and you didn't use my Make Ahead recipe, you're gonna wanna add some herbs to this because it's not gonna taste like much, but my Make Ahead stock has so much flavor from all of the herbs, the sage and everything that was in it, that I'm not worried about this not having enough flavor, which is why I didn't start with sauteing any onions or any herbs or anything. All right, only got 1 cup left to add. All of my 4 cups of stock are in. Making sure to scrape down the sides here. And making sure nothing sticks to the bottom. What we're looking for is for this to coat the back of a spoon. Right now, it does not. You can see everything just kind of runs right off. It's not very thick yet. It's very kind of watery. So I'm just gonna let this go. Stir occasionally with my whisk, but you really want this to reduce down. I haven't seasoned this yet. The stock is mostly unseasoned. The stuff from the drippings has a little bit of salt in it, but for the most part, this doesn't have any salt because it's going to reduce. If I season it now, it's going to end up being overly salty. So we wait till the end to do any seasoning. This is kind of rapidly simmering or boiling now. It's definitely thickened up a bit to the point where you could say it coats the back of the spoon, a trail can be left through it, but this is still not, if you like your gravy this consistency, that's fine, you can take this off now, but for me, I want it to be a little bit thicker. That's how I grew up having it, so I'm just gonna let this continue to reduce. It's another reason I like doing it in a skillet. All this wide surface area is gonna help the gravy reduce down. Okay, this has been reducing for a while. So maybe with the one I made last night, like that's just how long it takes to reduce. And that's fine. It still feels a little thin, but I know this gravy, because there's so much gelatin in the stock, that when you get this into a gravy boat and you get this on the table, it's just gonna thicken up very quickly as soon as it starts to cool down. So this is fine. I'm just gonna taste this real quick. More acidic than I'm used to, probably because I put lemons in the turkey and that has the drippings from that, but that's okay. I put a little bit of aged sherry vinegar to season mine. I feel like it has this depth of flavor that I really like, and usually acidity that the gravy needs, although this didn't really need it. And then I like also a little bit of soy sauce. This is going to be for salt first and then for color. I haven't put any other salt in this yet, so I'll taste this after this is mixed in. But this also just helps to darken up the color of the gravy a little bit, which I find to be a little bit more appetizing for turkey gravy. I'm just used to it being a little bit of a darker color. Okay. Let's grab a new tasting spoon. I still feel like this needs a little bit of salt and a little extra seasoning. So I'm going to put a little bit of this Trader Joe's everything but the leftovers seasoning. I told you I put this in everything for Thanksgiving. I'm not going to this time, but I have in the past. You could also put a little MSG in this and have all your guests saying that that was the best gravy they've ever had in their life. Some people don't like black pepper in their gravy, but I do. So the seasoning had salt. I'm going to taste it again before I put in any more actual salt. No, I think that's great. Perfect. balanced. Now the only question is, how much gravy did this make? And do I need to adjust the yield on my printed recipe? This is a fat separator, but also the only real like 4-cup measure I have right now. My recipe says that this makes 4 cups of gravy. Last night when I made it, it made exactly 3 cups. Okay. Confidence. Actually, I need a pot holder. Let's not get crazy. Now confidence. Oh, got a little on the side. Ah. Okay, I spilled a bunch. But I think even if I added back in the little bit that I spilled, it's exactly 3 cups. So this recipe makes 3 cups of gravy, not 4 cups of gravy. Oh well, you live and learn.